Hi, I am your host, Lyanette Talley, and you are listening to Virago 24/7. Virago is Latin for female warrior, and 24/7 is for all day, every day. Virago 24/7 is a weekly podcast that brings diverse women together to talk about life and our experiences in this world. We share our views on self-love, mental health, marriage, children, friendships, and really anything that needs to be talked about. Here, you will find everyday growth, everyday healing with everyday warriors. Just give me my space to move. 'Cause it's my thoughts, what I want, and I want what I want. Hello, everybody. I am here today by myself. I hope you all enjoyed the 3-part series of me and Shiny. We had a lot to talk about, and it was so fun going back and editing those shows. And it's like, man, I texted Shiny. I said, we make a good team, Shiny. We need to do this more often. So hopefully we'll hear more of Shiny, in coming episodes. So I'm here today, and I had to write some things down. Normally I, do some bullet points and kind of speak from the heart, and I'll still for sure do that today. But so much has happened in the past 3 weeks. And I was like, okay, where do I start? Where do I start? So I was like, let's just start from 3 weeks ago, from when things started kind of happening one right after the other. And about 3 Saturdays ago, I was invited to a wedding, and I was also hosting a baby shower that day. So I hosted the baby shower, and then I made it to the wedding. It was beautiful. I missed the ceremony, unfortunately, but I was able to make it to the reception, and we danced and we danced and we danced. It's a girl and a guy. They're both part of my boot camp group, and a lot of us were there that I just absolutely love to hang out with. So it was like my tribe was there, and it was a long day. So luckily I had 2 drinks, and I think I could have had a third, but at one point I put it down, and when I turned around, it was gone. So I guess the servers took it. But I did a lot of dancing, and of course, when I dance, I sweat. So it was a lot of fun. I drove by myself, and I felt amazing. I even know at one point I was like, man, I don't really feel tipsy or anything. It was so much fun. Like, I don't really need to drink a ton to have fun. It's just already, I think, in my blood. It's already in my blood. But going back to that Monday, prior to that Saturday, my battery had died in my car. So I couldn't drive that morning. So I called AAA. They came. They changed the battery. But with anybody that services your car, they like to mess with things. And so I guess he put my lights from auto to off, which I didn't notice because I hadn't driven at night that whole week. And so when I left the wedding around, I think it was around 10 or so, I do have another set of lights that aren't as bright, but I knew that I had some lights on because obviously I could see while I was driving. Anyways, I get stopped by the police. And I was really calm about it because I'm like, what did I do? And I like to speed. That's another thing about me. So I've gotten a few speeding tickets in my life, but I knew I wasn't speeding because I was paying attention. And I was like, why did I get stopped? And it's because the big lights, the main lights were not on. And I was like, oh man, I'm sorry. And I went through the whole thing about the battery, and, I do have some lights on, but they're not the main, bright lights that everyone should be able to see. So he noticed it, honestly, from the back end of my car, not the front end. So he said I didn't have my tail lights on. So I apologized. And then, he's asking me where I'm coming from. And I said, a wedding. And he asked me if I had anything to drink, which, I can't lie about that. Most people that go to a wedding, and if you're a drinker, you're going to drink. And I said, yes, I did. I actually had 2 drinks. And I'm sure he probably gets that a lot because, that's like the rule that people hear. It's like, just tell them you had 2 drinks because 2 drinks can't, get you a DUI. But I was really telling the truth this time. And I'm so thankful that I only had those 2 drinks, and I felt fine. However, he's doing his job. And for the very first time in my whole entire life, I was asked to get out of the car. And again, like I said, I've gotten speeding tickets and I've gotten stopped before. So that part wasn't new, but getting out of the car was brand new. And so I was like, oh man. And gosh, for some reason, I wasn't not even a little bit nervous. It was the weirdest feeling. I think maybe thinking back, I was thinking, well, I know I'm not going to pass, or that I am going to pass any kind of breathalyzer or any of those tests that they do, because I feel fine. Like I'm not even tipsy. And so he makes me get out of the car, and then, they call for backup. And so the other guy's standing behind me, the other guy standing in front of me, and he was very pleasant. And like I said, I wasn't nervous, so I'm sure he was feeling my energy. But I had pulled into a gas station parking lot, or a gas station to the side. And this sweet girl, with everything that's in the news, with police officers, this sweet girl just runs over and she's like, ma'am, are you okay? Are you okay? And she's just yelling. And I didn't want to make any sudden movements because by then he was already telling me what he was about to do. He was going to do the follow my finger test. And so he explained it as he was about to do it. She comes running, and she didn't come all the way to where we were, but she was coming towards us. And I was like, okay, I don't want to make any sudden movements because by now he told me to put my feet together, my arms to my side. And so I kind of like looked that way with my eyes, but I just kind of nodded like, yes, I'm okay, because I didn't want to speak. So she retreated, and he started doing, the whole finger test. And it felt like forever. I mean, I'm sure it's probably like, I don't know, a minute, 2 minutes. And I wear contacts, so my eyes were getting dry because I'm thinking, do I blink? Do I not blink? Do I have to stare the whole time without blinking? So I did say at one point, I'm like, I'm so sorry, I have to blink. Like, I wear contacts and my eyes are getting dry. And, I had to follow his finger for what seemed like forever. And then he was done, and he's like, okay, you passed, good night. And I don't have to run it, I don't have to do any of the other testings. You seem fine. Be safe driving home. I made sure that my lights were on. He looked. He's like, yep, they're on. And it was so surreal because I got in the car and I called Philip, and I was like, this is what happened, because he was at a friend's house watching, I think there was a boxing match that night. And I remember coming home and I was like, oh, it's been such a long day. I need a bath. And so I run my bath. I'm calm. And then for anybody who's been listening to my podcast, you all know that I get panic attacks. It's something that, I've had since forever. And I feel like when I feel my body getting to that mode of fast heart palpitations, I've learned how to breathe through it and calm down and all that. So then my body starts reacting. My mind was like, you're fine. That was, it's not a big deal. And I had to talk myself off the ledge, like, Lyanette, you're safe at home. It's okay. You were fine. It could have been worse because to be honest, while I was standing there doing this finger test in my mind, even though my body was super calm, and I'm like, you know what? You just never know what kind of police you're going to get. They could be having a bad day, or, maybe the fact that I started blinking my eyes it could have been anything. It could have been anything. So I'm thinking to myself, if he decides he wants to take me to jail, then I just have to just let it happen and we'll figure it out. So luckily that didn't happen. But I think I started thinking about that once I got home, like, oh my gosh, it could have been so much worse. So anyways, that happens, right? And I'm telling this in order because I just want you guys to see the state of mind that I've been in the past 3 weeks. So that happens that Saturday. And, I work part-time at the office. This is the second thing. I work part-time at the office. I started working part-time last year. So for those who haven't listened to all of it, the office is my husband's dental practice. And I work part-time in it. So we've had two people that had, prior to that week, two people that had put in their resignation, which one of them, both of them obviously were like, oh man, one of them is the manager. And it was like, no, she had been with him for so long as an assistant. But, I'm not going to get into all that. So we were kind of bummed about it. And we knew that the one girl that was on vacation was going to quit. We had a feeling. I said, now that the manager's leaving, I know this other girl who's only been there for like a year. I know she's going to resign. I know it because they're friends. And the only reason she has stayed is because of her. So we already knew, we were expecting it. So while she was on vacation that same week, I think it was like that Monday or Tuesday, we get the email that, hey, when I come back from vacation, I'll just work whatever 2 days, but that will be my last day. So needless to say, we were like, don't even bother to come back. But we were expecting it, but now it's like 3 girls are leaving the practice at the same time. It's not that, they're leaving, because we've had people come and go. It's not anything new. It's just that their last days were around the same time. The 2 girls that were being left, so there's 5 girls up front, minus me. And when the days that I come in, there's 6 of us, which is a lot. But his practice is so fast-paced that you kind of need a lot of people. People come into that practice, they're like, why do you have all these employees? Because we need it, because we're so busy, which is such a blessing, because when we first started the practice, that was what we wanted. That's the vision. It's like, we want to be known as the dental practice of this area. And that is what we've become, which has been such a blessing. So the 2 girls that were left are new to, not necessarily to dentistry, but they're new to his office. And, people have to get acclimated to the way doctors want things to be done. And so I'm thinking, I can't let these girls work by themselves, because like I said, it's a fast pace. Like, you need a lot of people up there to really get things to happen. I'm like, so I'm just going to just tell him I'm just going to come in at full time. Like, I'm a full-time employee and doing more than what I've been doing. So that happened. And if you know me, I was the manager 3 years ago. I left in 2020. And after that, I said, I'm never going to go back. I grew a lot while I was there. I grew as a person. I learned how to communicate better, how to handle conflict better, how to make things not about me, not to assume, not to take things personally. Everything from the 4 agreements I've learned by being in that practice. So it was a blessing being there, because before that, I had a hard time communicating directly, or I would bottle things up because I was afraid. So it's like all these things. So I learned so much, and I'm so thankful for the time that I was there, because it kind of elevated me as a person. And so I'm back. I'm back. So I'm like, you know what, Lyanette, this is positive. Let's just, it wasn't in the cards. That's not anything that I was expecting. I wanted to start really focusing on Virago. I know I've only been just podcasting, but I just feel like I need to take it to another level with events and bringing women together. Instead of talking about it on a podcast, we're going to be about it and start doing things so that we start connecting and really start doing what we're talking about. Instead of talking about it, let's come together and start healing and growing and all of those things. So I wanted us to really start focusing on that. I'm like, you know what, Lyanette, you're still going to be able to do that, but you have to be very intentional about it. So right now, as I'm recording this, I'm on my lunch break. I'm like, I don't have a recording for this week, but I can't drop the ball. I need to be super intentional. So here we are. So that happened. We're still in the same week, people, so stick with me, stay with me. That Thursday, I go to pick up my son, Khalil. He's like, hey, Mom, can you pick me up? I'm like, sure. It's right down the street. I'll pick him up, drop him off. My daughter at the time, she homeschools. My youngest homeschools, but she's a part of this hybrid. So she does go to a physical place with teachers and stuff. And that was also a day that she was there. So I was like, okay, I'll pick him up, drop him off, go back to the office, do a little bit, and then go pick her up. So on the way to the house, I like to take side roads because I don't like a bunch of traffic and a bunch of people. So I take the side road that's near, in our area. And this lady decides she wants to just literally just U-turn. We're both, going in the same direction, 2 different lanes, very small side road. Like the speed limit is 35 miles an hour. She decides to U-turn and I see it. And I'm like, crap. I need to, I see it, but it was kind of like, okay, let me just turn and maybe she'll see me and pump her brakes. So I'm kind of trying to get out of her way, but boom, she hits me. So I'm like, oh my gosh, my sweet car. I love it. I get in an accident. So then we're having to wait, everyone's fine. I'm okay. Khalil's okay. The woman's okay. She's just devastated. Come to find out when the police come, she was on her phone. She's not from that area. She was trying to find an office for her accountant. And I guess she was on the phone with him. And here in Georgia, it is very, very, very much illegal to even have anything in your hands. But people still do it anyways. You're not allowed to have your phone in your hand for any reason at all. So she, I commended her because she owned up to that. I didn't see her on her phone. I just knew how it happened. But she said, yeah, I was on my phone. I was lost. And I completely did not see her. So that happens. And then I'm like, okay, well, now that took up a lot of time. Let me go get Corinne. I was supposed to meet with a friend who's going to help me come up with some ideas for Virago and Virago events. So I wasn't going to go. I was like, I'm frazzled. I'm just going to be home. I just want to be home. But then I decided, no, this is very important to me. I told myself I have to be intentional. I can't get distracted. I can't let things get in the way, right? So I said, you know what, I'm going to go. So I went, and I'm so happy I went because it was such a lovely visit. She brought a friend that I'd never met before, and she was lovely. As I'm leaving, I get a phone call from Philip, and it was late. It was almost 10 o'clock at night, and we were about to head out. But, once I get to talking to certain people and we're connecting, it's blah, 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 we're just talking. He's like, Lyanette, Brian Mullen just passed away. So for those who don't know who Brian Mullen is, he's someone extremely, extremely special to my husband and to so many other people. But for my husband, he is a part of a men's group at church, and they meet every Friday morning. And we were trying to think, how long has it been? It has to be maybe coming up on 10 years, definitely more than 7 years he's been a part of this group. But he has considered this man a spiritual advisor and this person, and we're going to do a podcast on it. So I don't want to give too many details, but just so you know, we're going to talk about it because his life was so intentional and his connection with people was so intentional that he made an impact on our lives. And we're just one little family. He did that times maybe 100, on a grand scale. So we want to talk about his life and what it looks like to be very intentional. So needless to say, everyone who's heard about this man's passing has been shocked, and that's including us. And so I'm crying. I'm like, I'm going to come home. I know how devastating this is for my husband, and it's just been a shock. So we were just highly emotional that whole weekend, right? So this was Thursday. Sunday, I get a call from a friend who wants to meet up and take me to breakfast. And this is where the episode 66, go back and listen if you haven't, Rock the Boat. This is where this comes in. Because what did I say on episode 66? That if I'm going to move forward with Virago and I'm going to really live in my purpose, because I have cried. I'm like, Lord, I don't want to do this. I do, but I don't. I should just stay in my little bubble, in my safe bubble, and not put myself out there. Because with putting yourself out there and really trying to do something that you know that God has wanted you to do, comes crap. There comes crap with it. There comes negativity. There comes turmoil. And with all of that, we're growing. That's the thing. I know that with those things, God is teaching me something, and then I'm supposed to grow from it. Because if everything is wonderful and pleasant, you're never going to grow as a person. So go back and listen to that episode, because this breakfast turned sour real quick. For those of you who know me or don't know me, let me give you a little snippet. I used to bottle up my feelings when I was younger, and I would explode in anger. And I've learned as an adult that I don't have to do that. So if I have an issue, if I have any kinds of feelings about anything, I know to speak about it in the moment or while I'm feeling it. Maybe not that second, but eventually I'll address it. I'm not scared. I'm not intimidated. And, I have friends, this one in particular, who, we have this rapport, and it's a 10-year friendship. So we have a rapport of, I listen, and if it doesn't affect me in any way, and if it doesn't affect my life, then, there's nothing to really comment on, It's not like I'm scared to say anything. It's just, I've learned just to speak when necessary. We did this whole thing this whole series with Philip and I about the 4 agreements. And one of them is just use your word, be impeccable with your words, which means just watch what you say, how it comes out. And so I'm really, really, really trying to be in that, right? So up until then, I haven't held on to anything. I haven't been angry about anything. I haven't needed to address anything, because if I had been holding on to something, I 1,000% would have already addressed it. So anyways, our conversation had to do with Virago. And like I said, if it doesn't affect me, I just mind my business, keep it moving. But when it does and I feel a certain kind of way, I will speak up. And so that's what happened. I can't speak to her, but I feel like she was shocked that I even had the audacity to open my mouth. And I'm coming on here today. I really, okay, so there's 2 sides of me. It's I want to really, really live in my purpose and really live in God's way. And the human side, the ego side of me wants to come on here and tell you exactly everything that happened, everything that was said, share the text messages with you that came after that confrontation face to face. But there's no need for that. Why am I going to be messy? Why am I going to even do that? So I'm not doing that today. You're not going to know all the details except for those who are very close to me. You guys, I have to talk to people to see where I was wrong or give me perspective. And so it was a big, big blowout, to say the least, because don't talk about my stuff and expect me. I envisioned, this is the analogy that I told Philip. Imagine someone jabbing you with their words. You're in a boxing ring. They're jabbing. Me, I'm very intentional. I've learned to use my words wisely, and I know how I am. And I know when I speak, it's going to hurt. And so it doesn't, I don't word vomit anymore like I used to. It's not a word vomit. And if I do, and if I sit back and I'm aware of it, and if I feel like I'm in the wrong, because that is for sure happened, I will come back and I will apologize. I've done that recently with a friend. I'm so sorry I just said that. That was so out of line. So I have no problems doing that. But in this instance, I have nothing to apologize for. I said what I said. You jabbed. I did the 1, 2, 3, boom. My words were a little bit more powerful, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe I don't know. I just know it was like, I can't believe you said that. I can't believe you're acting like this. But when you are getting jabbed, and what are you going to expect? But I think some people just talk. They just vomit words, and either they know what they're saying or maybe they don't. Either way, that's not my problem. I responded. After that, there was a bunch of text messages. I try to keep my stuff to a minimum. I'm not going to go back and forth with anybody on a text chain. If you want to talk to me, let's talk. I think my minimal response was not well received, because then I am being told that I'm weak. Other things that have nothing to do with the situation, other ex-friends are brought into the conversation that have nothing to do with this. And I'm not holding on to any of that, because if I was, this friendship would have ended a long time ago, trust me. So I'm not holding on to any kind of grudge, anything. I'm strictly responding and feeling based off what happened that day. So when people kind of go off on these big, making up their old stories, maybe it's because I wasn't saying a whole lot through the text, because I'm not going to do that. And take away the tone, because this friend kept saying, well, the tone, well, stop texting. If you feel like I'm misinterpreting your tone, then why are we still doing this? Like, that's why my answers are very short, because I have a ton to say. Trust me. I have a ton to say. But first of all, I'm not going to do it through text. And also, some of it is unnecessary to say. This has made me reflect, because at first I'm like, okay, what do I want? Is this something that can be repaired? Take away tone. I'm reading the words. The words were not kind. The words were not nice. And not even just that. I have so many close friendships, friends that I consider like sisters. And I'm like, okay, how would things have been differently if it had been this person, that person? And I mentioned this to a friend, and that friend said, who I trust, Lyanette, we would have never acted like that towards you. And in a way, basically they were like, we would have never done what this person did or said to you for you to have to even respond the way you did. So I'm like, that is a very good point. And anytime that I've ever had conflict with these sisters, my sisters, my close friends, we can have a healthy debate and a healthy conversation. But this was not going anywhere. So some things were the lights were shown, which if you go back to episode 66, you know that this is what I was anticipating. I honestly did not think that it would happen right now. I thought it would happen in the future, and I thought it would happen with people that I don't even know, right? I never thought it would be someone that I've been friends with for 10 years, and let alone I didn't think it would happen anytime soon. But when I sit back and think about it, I think about this friendship, and it's very different than the other friendships, the healthy friendships that I have. And I thought, I've prayed for this. In any of my prayers that I've been praying lately, I pray for wisdom, I pray for guidance, and I pray for insight, for me to see. Not see with my eyes, but see with my heart, see with my instinct, see with my soul, my spirit. And be aware of those who are for me and not for me. And like I said in episode 66, rock the boat. It comes as friends. It comes with a smile. It comes with, I'm trying to help you. And sometimes the I'm trying to help you is not really helping me. The words are coming out, but the actions don't show that you're really trying to help me. So everyone has their perspective of the story. She has her perspective and I have mine. And my perspective is that sometimes God puts you in a fork in the road where this person has to go down that path and I have to go down this path. And we were not meant to go in the same direction. And once I let go on this past Saturday, I was like at peace with it. Sunday, I feel like something was just lifted. I had some conversations with some friends that kind of put some perspective on it, that I needed this friend, as much as it hurts for her to hear this. I needed this friend to kind of step to the side in order for me to really open my eyes to the people around me that truly have my back, that truly aren't going to try to sabotage anything, that truly when they say they're going to help, it's going to feel like they're helping, not that I feel kind of discombobulated by it, And I'm like, this person has this that can help with that. And this person has this talent and gifts. Because I have so many women in my life with so many talents and gifts. And I've known this. But I think with this friend, we see each other so much and we interact so much that I've kind of only been listening, quote unquote, kind of listening to that and not feeling all the way whole about the decisions and the directions that we've been going as far as Virago goes, not feeling settled about it. And now I know, because I've always known the purpose and I've always known the direction. It's just learning to listen to the right voices. So in sharing this, without sharing all the details, because it's not even the point. The point is not everyone is meant to go on the same journey as you. You get to a point and you're thankful for that person being a cheerleader, getting you to that point, but it's time to move forward without this person. And it might sound super harsh, and I'm sure, you guys are out there that might have gone through it and kind of still feel like, oh man, or you're going through it now, but every person has a purpose. And I truly believe that. And I found this quote, and I found so many quotes that I'm like, yep, I feel that. Yep, I feel that. But this one about the arguing, the fact that I wasn't going back and forth and having to prove myself or this was the old me. The old me would have wanted to prove myself, not just prove to like explain this and this and this and you. I don't have to do that, especially if I know if it's going to go round and round. So this quote says, I'm at that stage in my life where I keep myself out of unnecessary arguments. So even if you tell me 1 + 1 = 5, you're absolutely correct. Enjoy. And that's what I feel about what happened that day. And this whole following week up until Saturday, where I'm just like, what can I do with this? What can I do with all this information that she's sending me? Apparently she's extremely angry, and it got angrier because I'm not, meeting her where she is with her feelings. The other quote is, which I love and which I believe and which has brought me peace. I mean, it's only been today's Wednesday. It's only been since Sunday. Sunday, I sat down. It was such a gorgeous day. And I sat down on my back deck and I'm like, I'm going to reach out to this person because this person can help me here. And I'm really going to go in the direction that I've always envisioned. Not that this person has tried to throw things in there that I didn't always feel right. But I'm like, okay, we'll try it. I'm willing to try anything as far as events go, just to kind of get it off the ground. But I never 100% always felt like we were moving in the right direction. And now I feel like that's where I'm going. I'm going in the right direction, and I'm calling on those who are going to help me get there because of their talents that were given to them by God. But this other quote hit me, and I was like, you know what? This is what really truly brought me peace this past weekend. Don't worry about people God has removed from your life. He heard conversations you didn't, saw things you couldn't, and made moves you wouldn't. So let me say that again. Don't worry about people God has removed from your life. He heard conversations you didn't, saw things you couldn't, and made moves you wouldn't. And that is so true, because had it not been for this, it would still be going on. And the thing is, it's like you're aware that that certain friends are certain ways. And after so many years, you just kind of just learn to be like, okay, that's just who that person is. So without this big thing and these words being said and this drama happen and unfold, we probably would still be friends, but also I probably wouldn't be as invigorated as I am to move forward in what I really feel like God is leading me to do. And so those two quotes, I sat with them this weekend and I'm like, you're right. You're right. I thank that friendship. We had some fun times, and it doesn't matter the length of a friendship. When it's time to call it quits, it's time to call it quits for whatever reason. We wish each other well. I know I wish her well. But where I'm going, you're not meant to go there. And that's just the truth. I hate saying that, but I'm excited. I don't know. And, there was a few episodes ago, I don't even know which one, where I told you that I have another friend that gave me a blessing box, or blessing words. It's what it's called. And it's these words that I pick out every few weeks. I was going to do it weekly. That doesn't happen. I stick with my word, 2-3 weeks. And then I get another one. But my last one was tolerance. I think the one before that was something kind of similar. And this week I said, Corinne, we've been on tolerance for 3 weeks, and I feel like I'm done with the word tolerance. And she pulled out, because she just randomly pulls it out when we're in the car. And she pulled out excitement. That's the word that I have in my car that I get to see. And I'm excited. I said, oh, good, Corinne. Oh my gosh, because I'm so excited for the future. I am so excited. I feel lighter. I feel like I can see that I have vision. I feel not afraid. I don't feel unqualified. I don't feel like I can't. I feel qualified. I feel like I can. I feel that God will put the right people in place to help me set my purpose in motion, because obviously we can't do this life alone. We have to do it together. And there are people going to come alongside you that are just going to elevate you, and you're going to elevate them, and we're going to work together. And that's what I have right now. And you know what? Catch me next year. I might have something else that comes up, but I know on this journey that God is going to guide me. And if I feel like I'm getting off track, I'm going to pray for him to help me pivot back. Guidance, wisdom, and to see. Those are the 3 things that I'm praying for right now. And my word of the week, which I'm going to hold on to for the next few weeks, is excitement. I'm excited. And I'm so thankful for all of you that listen, that support me, that have actually made me be stronger on this podcast. There were times where I'm like, I can't do a solo one. I need people around me. I need them to be here to bounce ideas so I'm not the only voice. And I literally came here. I came home on my lunch break. I ate a little bit and I said, I'm going to do it. And I opened up the mic and I started talking. I couldn't have done this, in the beginning. And it's because the people that listen give me encouragement and they keep telling me, keep going. Because honestly, I'm going to be very honest. If I had done any of this a few years ago and all of this would have gone down, I know myself so well. I would have been like, see, I'm not meant to do this. See, I don't need to do this because see, this is what happens. I just need to retreat. I need to hide. I need to just be in my comfort bubble. And nope. We're not doing that. We are not doing that. I'm going to keep it moving. No matter what comes my way, we're just going to keep it moving. And I'm so thankful for you all that listen, that send me words of encouragement. I'm so thankful for my friends that are like my sisters that really, I feel it in my soul because I've been friends with them for so long and it feels good and it feels right and it feels like not difficult and not saying that we don't get into it. It's just how we resolve it. It's called emotional maturity. And I think some people feel like they have it or think that they have it, but it shows in the way you handle conflict and it shows in the way that you use your words. And the women that I surround myself with know how to use their words and know to sit back and kind of figure out where those feelings are coming from and intellectually kind of digest everything. So I'm so thankful today. I'm excited. And I know everyone, I'm going to leave you all with this. I got to go back to work. But everyone knows the whole poem of that friends, or the quote that friends are here for a reason, a season, a lifetime. So we're going to end with this, with the poem. I'm going to read the whole thing. And I love you guys, and we're going to keep it moving. And I'm excited for anything in the future. I'm not going to go MIA. I'm like, I need to keep this momentum going. But I love you guys. Keep listening. I'm going to leave you with this. People come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. When you figure out which one it is, you will know what to do for each person. When someone is in your life for a reason, it is usually to meet a need you have expressed. They have come to assist you through a difficulty, to provide you with guidance and support, to aid you physically, emotionally, or spiritually. They may seem like a godsend, and they are. They're there for the reason you need them to be. Then without any wrongdoing on your part or at any inconvenient time, this person will say or do something to bring the relationship to an end. Sometimes they die, sometimes they walk away, sometimes they act up and force you to take a stand. What we must realize is that our need has been met, our desire fulfilled, their work is done. The prayer you sent up has been answered, and now it is time to move on. And some people come into your life for a season because your turn has come to share, grow, or learn. They bring you an experience of peace or make you laugh. They may teach you something you have never done. They usually give you an unbelievable amount of joy. Believe it. It is real, but only for a season. Lifetime relationships teach you lifetime lessons, things you must build upon in order to have a solid emotional foundation. Your job is to accept the lesson, love the person, and put what you have learned to use in all other relationships and areas of your life. It is said that love is blind, but friendship is clairvoyant. You guys have a wonderful week. I will see you next week. Thank you so much for listening to Virago 24/7. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and please give us 5-star ratings. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Virago24_7 and on Facebook at Virago24/7 and just connect with us and share your story. We'd love to hear from you.